Hey, my friends, it's Cristy with Heartfull Living. And if you've ever been curious about Mahjong but felt a little overwhelmed and confused, then you've come to the right place because today I am going to try to walk you through a very simple introduction to the game so you can finally sit down at the table with confidence. Just want to share a quick reminder that I am not a certified Mahjong teacher. I'm just somebody who really loves the game. And in the name of inclusivity, community, and heartful living, of course, I thought I would share my love of the game with you all and hope that you all would be encouraged to learn something new with curiosity instead of pressure. My goal is to encourage you to accept that invitation from a friend that invited you to play, or jump in when you see the game taking place in front of you without the fear of the unknown or judgment. So take what serves you and enjoy the rest. Let's get started. What is Mahjong? So let's start with the basics, and I'll say that Mahjong is a game typically played with 4 players, and the goal is very simple. You want to build a hand of tiles that matches the patterns in the official card. This is the official Mahjong card. It comes from the National Mahjong League, and you can order one online every year. Once your hand matches that pattern, you call Mahjong, and that's it. That's your big moment. And you win. I'm going to start by talking about the Mahjong tiles because this is where I think everybody tends to get confused in the beginning, okay? Right now, for the purpose of this educational video that I'm shooting, I am using 2 different sets of my tile games, my daughter's and mine, just so that you can see the different variation of the tiles. But in every tile set, we have 3 suits. We have the BAMs, the cracks, and the dots. I want you to think of them as 3 different families of numbers. Then you've got your neutral tiles, which are your winds, your east, south, west, and north. You've got your flowers, and then you've got dragons, of course, your red, green, and your white. You have your joker, which is your wild card, and they help complete your groups and save you many, many times. Some sets have blank tiles, which in my house we use, and we'll get into house rules later. But I don't want you to stress about memorizing everything. Right now, I want you to just look at the tiles. The more you look at the tiles, the faster they click in your head. Here's a trick that makes this even easier. I want you to think of Mahjong tiles like a deck of cards, if you will. In a regular deck of cards, you have 4 suits. You've got your hearts, your spades, your clubs, and your diamonds. Well, in Mahjong, we also have suits. We have 3, and it's the BAMs, the cracks, and the dots. So I want to take some time right now to break down these tiles. Start with our first set, and it's our BAMs. And our BAMs are tiles with little bamboo sticks on them, and they run from 1 to 9, and they all have a corresponding green dragon. The way I like to remember this is bamboo is green, so naturally and logically, I would say, okay, if the bamboo is green, then the dragon has to be green. We're going to get to the dragons later. I just want you to start associating the green dragon with a green bamboo. Clean, simple, and very easy to recognize once you know what you're looking for, right? So inside your bamboo family is a very special tile, and it's the only tile that you're going to see an image on, and that is your bird, okay? And this is why so many people call it the bird BAM. It's the only bamboo with a picture instead of bamboo sticks, so it's easy to recognize right away. So let's talk about our cracks right now, okay? And cracks have the red Chinese character, and they also run from 1 to 9 and have a red dragon. I like to associate red as, okay, the Chinese flag is red, and the characters correspond to the Chinese language, so they're going to be red too. It works for me. Hopefully, it works for you too. So the red crack dragon is how I remember it. So lastly, we have our dots, and our dots look like little circles or soap bubbles, okay? Some people call them coins, balls, buttons, whatever it could be, whatever helps you remember them. They also run through 1 to 9, and they also have a dragon, the white dragon. But of course, it has to get a little complicated that it does not look like a dragon. It actually looks like a soap dish, and that's why they call this tile soap. Think of it that you're putting the soap bubbles inside your dish. Not to complicate things more, but the soap can also be the number 0 on your pattern card, okay? Are you following? Did I lose you yet? Let's continue. So dots are the easiest suit to see from across the table because obviously that does not look anything like a dragon. It's a little soap dish. So the 3 suits that are at the heart of the game, and they work just like number suits in a deck of cards. Let's talk about those dragons now and discuss how they connect, because just like a deck that has special cards, Mahjong has special tiles called dragons. They add power to your hand, and each dragon connects to one of the suits. Remember, the red dragon, which is here. Your red dragon connects to the cracks because cracks are red. Green dragon connects to the bams because they both look like green bamboo. And then you've got your white dragon connected to the dots because you put the soap bubbles in the dish, I guess. I guess that's why people call it the soap tile, because it looks like a little bar of soap. Once you understand the suits and their dragons, everything becomes a little more logical and less intimidating. Let's talk about those neutral tiles, shall we? Let's talk about our winds and our flowers. Now let's go back to the winds. You've got your east, south, west, and north. And these tiles are their own little family and show up on many hands on the cards. Let me share something that helped me when I was learning to play that hopefully helps you too. Learning the winds was honestly one of the easiest ways for me to start playing the game with confidence. This is because the winds were the tiles I could identify the fastest because they looked nothing like the other suits and they stood out to me personally right away. So in the beginning, I focused on hands that used winds because I could spot them without even thinking about it. If you're just starting out, this is a great strategy. Pick the tiles you recognize easily and build your early hands around those. Flowers are also another special category because they add points and complete certain hands, and they usually are the prettiest tiles, personally, I think, in the sets. And here we've got our jokers now. Our jokers are our wild card, and they can replace almost anything in a grouping except singles and pairs. And then we have our house rules. Every house has its own set of rules, but in my house, we use blanks. And I find that it's really useful when you're first learning how to play. Blanks can be used in place of a single, a double, a pong, or a kong. And we'll get to those words in a second. They're not official in any way, shape, or form, but in my house, we love a good blank exchange when nobody's looking, especially my daughter, Adri. Let me give you a quick explanation of setup of the game. Each player gets a rack and starts with 13 tiles. The only one that gets 14 tiles is the dealer who starts the game. Let's talk about the card, because the card's your guide, and every year there's a new card with new hands, and each line is a different pattern you can build. It can be very overwhelming at first, but once you study it a little bit, you start to see the patterns and you recognize them more and more as you play. Think of it like a restaurant menu. You do not order everything at once. You pick a hand and you commit to it. And just like you do that at a restaurant, that's how you're going to play the game. There's a lot of movement at the beginning of the game, and that's called the Charleston. This is the first dance of the game, if you will. This helps you shape your hand before the real play begins, right? There's an optional pass at the end. And once you understand the Charleston, it becomes one of the most fun parts of the game because it feels like you're trading and tidying up at the same time. There's some basic terminology that comes with the game, and you'll just start folding that into your game as you go along. But basically, you're going to start hearing the following vocabulary: a pung, which is 3 identical tiles; a kong, which is 4 identical tiles; a pair is 2 tiles; exposure means tiles you show; concealed means tiles you're going to keep hidden; calling a tile means somebody discards a tile you need; a dead hand means you can no longer make a valid hand. I repeat, you do not need to memorize all of this right now. It becomes natural as you play. The more you play, the more you learn. I am no expert in this game, but every time I play, I learn something new and I just add to my personal instructional manual, if you will. Let's talk about racking because beginners are rarely taught this clearly. When you pick a tile from the wall, that tile is your active tile. It's not officially yours until you rack it. The moment you slide it into your rack, it becomes part of your hand. If you call a discard, that tile is also active until you rack it to complete your pung or your kong. So your active tile is always the one not yet racked. You cannot pick up a new tile until the active tile is racked. Small detail keeps the game clean and helps everybody follow their turn order. Here are a few beginner tips that make learning so much easier. Tip number 1, do not chase too many hands. Pick one or two hands you like and stay committed. Tip number 2, look for repeats in your tiles. If you start with doubles or even triples, that is usually your path. Tip number 3, practice open hands. Lay your tiles out, don't worry about everybody else, and talk through your thinking. This removes the pressure and speeds up your learning. Tip number 4 is do not be afraid of messy mahjong. Eliminate those walls. A messy hand in the beginning is actually one of the best ways to learn because it forces you to really look at the tiles. When everything is jumbled, you actually learn the identity of your suits, your wins, and your dragons a lot faster. To win, your hand has to match the card exactly, that pattern on your national Mahjong card. Once you place your final tile on your rack, you say Mahjong and you say it with confidence and you earned that win. Mahjong takes time to learn, but it's worth every minute. It's social, it's relaxing, and it's so good for the brain. It's full of laughter and good energy, good vibes. Give yourself grace, enjoy the process. You will get better with every game. Thank you, my friends, for spending this time with me and letting me guide you through a simple, hopefully, introduction to Mahjong. If you want more videos, more tips, or a full breakdown of the card, let me know. I'm happy to help you fall in love with this game the same way so many others have.